listening to the previous show, I promised him we would discuss Arsenal. He's a big Arsenal fan. Just briefly, today it was announced, though, it's unveiled, the statue of Arsene Wenger outside the Emirates, and we love a statue at the Emirates. Listen, an Arsenal legend, no debate there. I always get into lots of discussions and fights, not physical fights, but heated discussions with Arsenal fans about whether he's a Premier League legend. I think it's a debate. I'm not sure when you've been, toppled by the likes of Guardiola in terms of number of Premier League titles. I think Jose's got more. He's got 3 or 4.
Maybe. I think Mourinho might be the same as Mourinho did it in a shorter space of time, but I think are they not 3 each?
I thought Jose had 4, didn't he?
2, 3. I think he did 2 first time round at Chelsea. Came back, got another one.
Okay. There's a lot of 6 and 5s and 4s, and obviously a couple of 7s and an 8 in there as well. I think that significantly tarnishes the legacy. And I know it's European Cup, but no European success in 20-odd years, I think, is balanced out by the great football, the coaching of great players, the masterpiece that was Thierry Henry, the winning 3 Prems, the Invincible. So it's a debate for me whether he's a Premier League legend, but definitely an Arsenal legend. Just briefly, as a rival fan, what are your thoughts on Wenger and the timing of this statue being unveiled?
Yeah, I think he's well worthy of a statue at Arsenal. I mean, there's no two ways about it. He, in terms of Arsenal history, he is at the heart of it. He has been a huge part of that club. The club that they are today is largely thanks to the contribution from Arsene Wenger. I think he probably stayed a little bit too long. I think it went a little bit sour towards the end, but his reimagination of both Arsenal Football Club and football in this country can never be forgotten. So he is certainly an Arsenal icon. I do think there is a debate in terms of where he ranks, because there was a time when it was Ferguson and Wenger.
Yeah.
And history has been quite unkind to Wenger, because I don't think it is that anymore. I don't think it goes... In fact, it certainly does not.
I don't think it's history. I just think it's facts.
Yeah.
I think it's factual that he's not in the top 2 anymore.
But facts for sure. But do you know what else has? There was a time when like Arsenal went 9 years, didn't they? Practically a decade without any silverware. That was during Jose Mourinho, the specialist in failure, and when Jose Mourinho said that at any other big club he'd be sacked by now. That all now looks to be true because of the way that football was gone. At the time, I felt like it was Jose Mourinho effectively trying to get into Wenger's head, and it was just for the japes, effectively, and just for the one-upmanship. It is true. You couldn't do 9 years at a club and keep your job at a top club.
That bit. Sorry, yeah.
But specialist in failure.
Is that true? That was
cutting. It was cutting.
I don't know if that was true. A specialist in failure. Think about those words, Rory.
Do you know? It's very cutting.
Someone is a genius in failing, is what he's basically saying.
It's very cutting. It's very hurtful. It doesn't necessarily mean it isn't true. What I would say about Arsene Wenger is, look, there's no doubt that he belongs at the very top of football folklore in this country. There's no doubt about that. I would be honoured to meet the man, but he presided over at one point the best team in the world. They were the best team in the world. The year that Wayne Bridge scored at Highbury to stop them winning the Champions League, they were the best team in the world.
That was the year, yeah.
And they would have won that league. They would have won that Champions League. They would have definitely won it. They would have. If you think the Chelsea were knocked out the following round, Chelsea made it into the semi-final under Ranieri, and it was Morientes, Monaco that did us. And that was because Ranieri decided to play Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank as a right winger, and that
still burns, doesn't it? I can tell that still burns.
It hurts, yeah. And Morientes was just unplayable, But we should have beaten them.
Yes.
And then that Monaco team went into the final and got absolutely slapped up by Jose Mourinho's Porto. Yeah. And then the rest is history. Mourinho wins the Champions League. Mourinho then becomes Chelsea manager. Chelsea then dominate. And in fact, particularly on a footballing level, this isn't necessarily the debate around the size of the club, because I find that a little bit tiresome. The London is blue or whatever debate. That isn't what I think either, by the way. But I find the debate fairly tiresome and pointless. But in terms of on the pitch stuff, Wenger not winning that European Cup that he was definitely entitled to win. He definitely had the best team, and they went to Stamford Bridge and took the lead. When it was away goals. That really did count against him, because the trajectory and the power of London on the pitch shifted there. A couple of years later, Ashley Cole made the move. Yeah. Arsenal then went 9 years without a trophy. Chelsea then win the European Cup. A couple of years after Chelsea winning the European Cup, we play Arsenal in a final in 2019. We beat them in a European final. And I think it can all be traced back to that night at Highbury and Wayne Bridge. But don't get me wrong here, Jordan. I've sounded incredibly sneery towards Arsene Wenger. The man is a genius, an icon, and a gentleman, and I rate him incredibly highly. And he presided over some of the worst days of my life.
Well, I was just going to say some of the best years of my life, but then again, I suppose also some of the worst years of my life as well.
Well, it was the years when we couldn't get a result against you. Whatever happened, Carnu, Silvinho, Winterburn, whatever Chelsea did, Wenger did more.
Yeah. It's very, very true. Anyway, I think the statue is well deserved. So congratulations to the big man. I'll be getting down there at some point soon to check it out. And it looks good. You know, when they do some statues of some people, it just doesn't look anything like the person.
I like the Ronaldo one. Oh. That's my favourite one. When his face looks like he's melted. Oh, that is my favourite statue.
Who signed that off? This one
probably him.
Probably was probably right.